The more gear you buy for your live stream, the more things you need to power. But batteries are expensive, not to mention heavy. And if you're not careful, they can run out at the worst possible moment. So how do you reliably power your gear without breaking your back or the bank? I'm Josh from Budget Church Live Streaming, and today we're going to talk about different ways to power your cameras and gear for your church live stream. Let's get into it. When all you have to power is a camera, it's pretty easy. Just take your battery and throw it in there, no problem. Just make sure you throw it on the charger after service and you're always good to go. But as you start adding gear like a monitor or a wireless transmitter, maybe a follow focus, having separate batteries for each one can really start to add up, both in your wallet and in the weight of your camera. Plus, you'll end up with so many different chargers and batteries that you and your volunteers have to keep track of. You may even have gear that doesn't operate off of a standard battery at all, like an SDI converter or maybe a homemade tally light. Check out a video up there to see how to make them. Instead, those might use something like USB power in order to run. So what are your options for power? If you've got a stationary camera, there's an easy solution. Just plug things in. Most cameras can either take AC wall power directly, or you can get what's called a dummy battery to adapt it. It's essentially a little fake battery that goes into your camera and then has a cable that goes and plugs into an outlet. It tricks your camera into thinking it's running off of a battery, even though it's got juice for days coming out of the main power. This can be a great option because you don't have to worry about the camera dying in the middle of a service. Your other accessories can probably also be plugged into the wall, whether through some sort of adapter or just a normal barrel jack or USB wall wart. Depending on the number of devices you have on your camera, you'll probably need some sort of extension cord or power strip running up to the top of your camera on your tripod, so just make sure to practice some good cable management and you'll be in a good spot. If you have any gear that can't run off the wall, you can always have a couple batteries for that, but try to simplify things as much as you possibly can. This is going to be good for you and for your volunteers who will be responsible for actually running the camera. So obviously that's super easy, but only works if your camera never moves and you never need to tear it down. What if your camera is handheld, or you need to set it up and tear it down every week like we do? Well, we're going to have to stick with batteries, but there are ways to simplify things so that you don't have tons and tons of different ones. The budget option, which also happens to be a little bit janky, is to get some USB power bricks, something like this. A lot of times they have multiple ports on them and have enough juice to power a handful of accessories on your camera. If you get creative, think zip ties and gaff tape, you can even find ways to mount them to your rig. Obviously this setup isn't pretty and isn't exactly industry standard, so I don't really recommend it, but just know it can get you by in a pinch. We actually ran with some of these for about a year, and while it had its headaches, it's super easy to charge these guys up week to week, and people were familiar with how they worked. I'll just say, don't plan on making this a permanent solution, but it's definitely fine for a temporary stopgap. The better way to power your devices is using something like this, a V-mount battery. These bad boys are the industry standard for cameras and all sorts of other film equipment. They're called V-mounts because of the way they lock into place with a V-shaped locking mechanism. There's also another type called gold mount batteries that are extremely similar, but they have a different type of mounting mechanism. I've personally never used them, so I won't talk too much about them. V-mounts also have these ports on the side called a D-tap. With the right cable, these can provide a ton of power to all of your different camera accessories. Now, that's awesome if you have a camera that works like this, but a lot of us use these much smaller mirrorless cameras, which definitely don't work natively with a V-mount battery. For that situation, you're gonna need something like this, a V-mount plate. These plates have their own mounting point and then can provide all sorts of different power outputs, all from the single battery. The one that we use has a ton of barrel jacks on the side, as well as some USB ports here on the opposite side. It's also got an extra D-tap port. These plates are awesome and give you the flexibility and power pretty much everything you could need on your cameras. V-mount batteries also come in all sorts of capacities and sizes to fit whatever particular needs you may have for your rig. We're able to plug all our gear into this one plate and then run for hours off of a single battery, which makes things super easy. For our tripod mounted cameras, we've set up a good sized rig that has the battery mounted directly to it. These are pretty heavy, but luckily the tripod is the one handling all the weight. For our handheld cameras, we actually offload the battery and plate into a pack that's worn on the camera op's belt in order to offload the weight from their hands so they don't get tired. Check out the video up here on how we made those and how you can make something similar. It's super nice. Be warned, V-mount batteries can get pretty expensive depending on the quality and capacity, but they've been a great investment for our team. I'll put links to the ones we use in the description below. There are probably better quality ones, but these have been great for us for a couple of years now, especially since we only need to use them 1 day a week. However you choose to power your cameras, just make sure that you've always got a couple spare batteries on hand in case something goes wrong. You don't want to end up losing a camera on a Sunday just because your battery didn't charge like it was supposed to. I know batteries aren't the most exciting topic to talk about, but it's important to know the different options available to you. If you enjoyed this run through, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like it. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Until next time.